Cheri from the Watering Mouth here. Something I'm going through right now, which is a dietary change, and I wanted to give you 7 easy tips for how to stick to a diet. I want to say diet with quotation marks because I'm actually not dieting. I'm transitioning to a new lifestyle, but it's taking me like 3 years to transition, and it's probably going to take me a lot longer. We all go back and forth when we try to diet or we try to change everything up, and that's exactly what I'm experiencing right now, which is okay. And I want to give you some tips on how you can transition a lot easier, and this is what I'm using specifically currently. Number 1, make a long-term goal. This one's huge for me, and I don't mean long-term as in I am forever going to be a vegan, right? I mean long-term as in, for me, it's 42 days, that's 6 weeks. I don't mean for a full year I'm never gonna eat meat again, or for the rest of my life I'm never gonna have cheese or something like that. That's way too long-term. You wanna be thinking on a shorter term, but longer than just for today, you know? Give yourself 3 weeks, maybe it's 5 weeks, for me it's 6, but pick a long-term goal and stick to it. The way that I'm doing that right now is using this little paper here. Let me show you. So this is the paper that I'm using to make my long-term goal. I always do 6 weeks and it's 42 days, and every single day when I finish one successfully, I just cross it off. This is my Eat Good Challenge for 2016. It's a 6-week challenge and I'm almost a week through, so it clearly works. The second tip is to make a daily plan. This one is the only thing that I feel like is the #1 necessary must-have. You have to do it or you will probably fail. At least that's how it works for me. You have to make a daily plan. For me, I have to say, either the night before or the morning of, I have to say, this is what I'm gonna eat today. I'm gonna have this for breakfast, I'm gonna have this for lunch, this for dinner, I'm gonna have this much water, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna work during these hours, this kind of thing. This keeps me on track for all the things I wanna do during the day. And if I actually write it down, it works for me. I'll show you some of the daily goals that I've been using. This here is day 5, and that was yesterday. You can see a couple of the things I sort of planned to have, I didn't end up having, and I had to end up adding a couple of things, and I just cross them off when I have them. I also have a little section for water down here that says 1, 2, 3 jars. Did I make it? Yesterday I didn't quite make it, but it still kept me a little bit on track. I have to use those in order to get through my day, and I find a little satisfaction in crossing off the things that I ate and sticking to the plan. Number 3, huge, 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 especially super important for me because I am a kidney stone former. You have to drink water. And not only for people that form kidney stones, in fact, I don't form them anymore because of how much water I drink, but for anybody who's trying to get on a healthier lifestyle, water is super, super important. So for me, it's these huge mason jars, 32 ounces per glass, and I do 3 of these a day. You can see some days I get only 2, but when I write it down, most of the days I get all 3 in. Okay, number 4 is probably my favorite one that people don't ever think about when they're thinking about dieting. It's fiber. Fiber is probably one of the most important keys for successfully eating healthy. When you have a lot of fiber, you're eating some beans or you're eating a bunch of lettuce or lots of fruits and vegetables that just have a lot of natural fiber in it. When you get that natural fiber, you're actually physically filling your stomach more than if you were to have a smaller piece of meat or some carbs that don't, you know, maybe it's just some pasta or some refined carbs that don't have as much fiber. You're gonna wanna eat more of that in order to stay full versus having an apple plus some salad or whatever is gonna give you more fiber, more feeling of fullness. For me, that's super important. Whenever I feel like I need a little bit more heaviness, I'll turn to beans or I'll turn to something like lentils, some real heavy vegetables, like a big vegetable soup or something like that, and I'll just eat tons of it. Because those kinds of foods, you can really eat unlimited amounts if you're not putting a bunch of oil and salt on it, and you get all the fiber to make you feel full, and you can continue on your diet a lot easier that way. I'm sorry, lifestyle change. And in that one, you can kind of give yourself a little mini goal of having 3 fruits and 3 vegetables a day. That's still kind of not a lot, but if you don't eat them a lot now, it's a great way to just start and say, I'm gonna do this 3 times a day, I'm gonna do this 3 times a day, and you can cross those off your list too, make it a little bit easier. The 5th tip that I use whenever I do these kinds of challenges for myself, or I'm trying to get healthier, is to make myself try at least 1 new recipe a week. If you're trying 1 new recipe a week, you're learning new cooking skills. You're probably learning about different fruits and vegetables or different ways of preparing fruits and vegetables you're already familiar with. So for me, that's huge because if I'm trying a brand new recipe I've never tried before every week, I'm learning all that new stuff, and then I have that in my arsenal for the next week when I have no idea what to prepare or the next challenge, or if friends are asking me what they can try to make, I have a lot of things in my head to sort of refer to. And then the sixth tip for me is to plan out everything I'm going to eat 3 or 4 days at a time. What I'll typically do is I'll say, all right, I'm going to eat the same thing for 2, 3, or 4 days in a row-ish. I might have a different smoothie or I might have a different soup or something, but it might be the same salad for 3 or 4 days in a row because that's what I have in the fridge, or the same soup for 3 or 4 days in a row. And that way I don't have to think of something new every day because that's way too much to handle. And I can go 3 or 4 days and say, okay, now I'm really sick of this and I really want to make something new. And I will, and then I'll have that for a few days and I go on to the next. So you only have to plan once or twice a week. You only have to grocery shop once or twice a week. It makes it a lot easier, way less headache. And in that same sort of a tip is number 7, which is make a shopping list and stick to it. Make a shopping list. Every time you choose what recipes you're going to make a shopping list for only those recipes and use your little pen to cross off those things as soon as you get them in the grocery store, and do not buy anything else. Have tunnel vision when you go to the store. Cross them off when you're done, get out of there. Then I'll make a list of the things that I have bought and some ideas that I'm going to make with those kinds of things I got at the store. And that's basically what I'll do for the week. This is the list that I'm using for this week. I'm going to have a soup and I'm going to have 2 different salads, plus I'll probably have some smoothies, which I already know. And then this was my grocery shopping list, and I got almost everything on the list. I crossed everything off when I was done, and then I got the hell out of that store. Okay, so that was my 7 helpful things. Actually, I think there was about 8, but whatever, who's counting? I hope you found this helpful. If you really liked the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm going to be doing more like this. You can go to my website, thewateringmouth.com, and follow along with me on my challenge. And also, follow me on Snapchat because I'm on there all the time and I give lots of little videos of what I'm doing during the day, what I'm cooking, what I'm making. My username is either The Watering Mouth or The Water Mouth, depending on which channel you're on. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! And thank you so much. Blah, blah.